Hi, I'm Liam Loftus and welcome back to another BBC World Cup Pundit Q&A. Today we are joined by an Argentina defender who became a cult hero, dare I say club legend at Manchester City. He played in the 2014 World Cup final and recently we found out he used to chauffeur a young Lionel Messi around Barcelona. Pablo Zabaleta, welcome.
All good?
How are you?
I'm really good. I'm really good. Enjoying the World Cup so far. Every single minute of it.
So we've asked the BBC Sport followers for some questions. We've also got some of our own, but I've got to start. 3 points for Argentina against Mexico. How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. That would have been an absolute disaster, of course, if we couldn't win that game because, Messi last World Cup after the final whistle was a sign of relief for every Argentinian player. Because it was a tough game. I mean, there was a lot of tension, anxiety before the game. But a classic Messi from outside the box. He always finds that small space, and hopefully, scored a wonderful goal. But obviously, looking forward, I think nothing is done. We have another huge game against Poland, and hopefully, we can perform well enough to get the 3 points and qualify for the round of 16.
We've got a question from David Perner on Facebook. Is this Argentina team feeling more pressure than other teams?
I think because it's probably Messi last World Cup and the pressure is there. And if you could see the pre-World Cup moment of that team, it's been absolutely brilliant. 36 games. Unbeaten, playing really well, winning convincingly after that shocking defeat against Saudi Arabia. And yeah, the pressure was absolutely there. You can really see when Messi scored that celebration of, how much it means for Messi and for the rest of the players and for the people who are here in Qatar supporting the team and all that. So. But we know that always that pressure being on Argentina. In our country, the expectation is always really high.
Joseph Gregory and Ellison Williams on YouTube both asked, Messi or Maradona?
Well, for me, I always say that if I have to pick one, of course, you have to be Messi, but because of he's 35. And he's still performing, he probably that longevity compared to Maradona is what made the difference for me between Messi and Diego. As an Argentina, it's something I'm very proud of, saying that we have two of the greatest players of all time. It's something that is so painful to choose one, but I'm probably the generation of Messi, and because he's doing it for 15 years, and okay, I have to choose Messi.
So Daniel Hick on Twitter, who is the best player in the world right now?
Right now, Haaland has been in a terrific form for Man City before the injury. I mean, 8 hat-tricks in I don't know how many games, it's been ridiculous. I have to say Valverde from Real Madrid. I think he's at the moment one of those players that is a complete midfield. He's got everything, energy, defensively very strong. He can effectively pass the ball. He's been improving his creativity. He has an immense shot from distance. He scored already 8 or 9 goals for Real Madrid this season in La Liga. He won the Champions League with them, playing well for Uruguay. I don't know, I think these two players at the moment are two of the best players in the world.
Tomo Wood on Instagram, who is your favourite young player at the World Cup?
I just think in someone that has been really good in 2 games already. Can I say Gavi? Yeah. Gavi, I think is a good shout. Gavi from Spain is only 18, or even Pedri, he's still 20 years old, I can't believe it. And how good he's been for Barcelona and for Spain in the first game. I think these two guys, Pedro and Gavi, one is 18, the other one is 20. They both score against Costa Rica. And they both brilliant. I think Pedri is very similar to Iniesta, Xavi, these kind of players, very good on the ball, technically gifted player who likes to play in between lines. It's so good to see this guy playing football. Gavi is still really good on the ball, but also has that physicality. He likes to tackle. He puts some tackle in. He's aggressive, and I think these two guys been probably two of the best youngest players in this World Cup at the moment.
Zaba, what was it like competing with Micah at Man City?
With Micah, I always been a fascinating battle between both of us. I mean, but that competition always been very healthy, I have to say. Some people forget how good Micah was at that time back in 2007-8. I remember when I first came, he was playing centre back, was playing more right back, sometimes even in midfield. But then, of course, the big money came into the club. They bought Colo Touré, Julian Lescott, and then was like one spot for two players, Micah and myself. And I have to say, Micah at that time, he was better than me in almost every attribute as a player. He was physically stronger than me. He was a lot faster than me. He's stronger in the air. So it was so hard for me to fight for that right back spot. He was a beast. But I had something that Micah didn't have, probably.
What was that?
There was the toughness. Even if it was, at some point I was thinking, well, imagine if I was like Micah Richo. Oof. Every single player would be scary of me, because when you see Micah that big.
Yeah.
But he was not tough enough, and I was tougher because, I was patient. I was second choice. I was on the bench. Even that title winning season, remember when Sergio Aguero scored that late goal?
No, you scored as well in that game, don't you?
I scored, yeah. I'm glad you're saying that. Actually, people really forget that I scored a first goal. He played more than me in the Premier League. I was playing more Champions League games. You cannot hate Micah. Come on.
That is the guy.
He's the nicest guy you can ever meet. And listen, probably consistency. I know that Micah then has been very unlucky with some of the injuries, and probably that consistency been crucial for me at some point to be in that right back spot and keep playing games and all that. I see some of the podcast with Mike and Gary and Alan Shearer. It's so funny to watch it, and the way he laughs and he tells different stories about him, and yeah, wonderful to see.
Sam Fallows 92 on Instagram. Do you still class yourself as Mancunian?
I probably lost a bit of my Mancunian accent. Obviously, I'm back in Spain now. I've been for nearly 3 years, and I feel that at some point, I'm just losing my Mancunian accent. I'm not surrounded by English people anymore. Even I feel like I'm not speaking so much English in Spain, but at some point when I got a chance to go back to Manchester and spend a few days there and talking to people is something nice to see. And listen, I spent 9 years in Manchester. I had some such nice memories from my time living there, playing for the best club in the city. So I still got my place. I refuse at the moment to sell it. I don't want to sell it. I just want to keep it, just in case that one day I got a chance to go back there. When I used to live in Disbury, it was a really nice fish and chip shop in one corner. And I used to go there very often, especially after the game. I used to drive there. I remember going into the fish and chip shop and just smell it. It was like really nice. Not very often because, of course, as a professional, you have to be careful. But come on, after the game, you can do it.
Pablo, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the World Cup.
Thank you very much, guys. It was a pleasure. Thank you.